Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to Hold the Ball, HTB. Hope you guys are well. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it very much. And yeah, if you're new, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. And if you're one of those people who frequently come in and come out, hey, do me a favor. Again, this is a rugby league channel that is all about rugby league from my perspective. Give you guys what I think. But in saying that as well, welcome. This is a Tigers versus Warriors preview where I give you guys my thoughts on the squad, improvements, predictions, scores, and some key talking points as well. But it's all about that good stuff there. And before I continue, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the squad, haven't we? You know exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So before I start, pass me the ball. So the squad, we see Walsh at fullback. The wings are Tuivasa-Sheck as well as Marcelo Montoya. And the centres are Pompey as well as Ewan Aitken. The halves see the return of Hiku as well as O'Sullivan. And the props are James Dalnoa-Brown as well as Ben Murdoch-Masila. Daniel Otukolo gets first dibs at the hooking position for the first time this year, no longer coming off the bench. So hey, that's a good thing there. Katoa and Sirinen make up the second row. Josh Curran makes up the lock. For the bench, we see Nikorima, Afoa, Evans, as well as Te Wanga. For the reserves, we have Vailea, Gossi, and Patterson Ropati. That is the squad there, guys. That'll be lining up against the Tigers. And look, first things first, obviously, Inexperience. I guess probably is one that stands out. A lot of mismatching, a lot of chemistry, a lot of this, a lot of that. Look, it's going to be good to see Walsh in there again. And I touched on it before in the last week's preview against the Rabbitohs, right? Where I spoke about how Roger Tuivasa-Sheck not playing would be a glimpse into the future without him. I just didn't think it'll be happening this quick. We see Hiku return from what was dubbed season-ending injury, and he comes back and he leads us. He's the actual captain. I am surprised by that. Do I understand why he's been picked? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I get he's been out for a while and, you know, he's probably coming back and you just want to do him some good. But I mean, he's going next year. You know, so for me personally, we should give it to someone else who's going to stick around. I would have ventured down Josh Curran's way. But hey, that's neither here nor there. In saying that, it is good to see Hiku. And as you've noticed as well, the halves, again, yet another combination. The halves for the Warriors have been the blight of perhaps the team, I think anyway, if you examine it very closely. We see the wings here, Dylan Watene-Selesniak and Montoya, and it's good to see them there again. That's probably something that's very common. Look, you're seeing James Dalnoa-Brown come back from the Dragons and Ben Murdoch-Masila starting in a position that I think is not his best position, but again, in saying that, as you know, inexperience and I guess at the same time, we're just riddled with injuries and there's some key outs too, right? So Ah Mau has left the Warriors too, and I believe he doesn't have a contract, so I believe he's played his last game for us. But we have Eden Fonor-Blake, who's not playing. We also have Lodge, we have Townsend, Murchie, also Rocco Berry too, who I believe is dealing with a hamstring injury. Again, such a good player, but unfortunately dealing with something that just can't seem to go away. Look, for me personally, looking at the squad again, some of the key players to look out for. You've got Walsh, you've got Hiku, you've got Otukolo, you've got Ben Murdoch-Masila. But yeah, you know, Nikorima in the bench too. Obviously, he'll look to inject himself and do what he does. But again, there's just not too much to say here because I just don't know how it will go. There's no stability. The only stability is that Walsh is at fullback. You've got Aitken who's back, you know, who seems to be a regular starter, which is good. But yet again, the forwards, there's always a change. There's just no stability there. You know, that's my thoughts on the squad, personally. Again, going back on the injuries, just absolutely just unfortunate. But in saying that, with the Warriors, you just got to make do with what you get, right? You've just got to make do with the cards you're given, and you've just got to look to hit the Tigers forward here. So look, overall, my thoughts again on the squad. It is what it is. There's not too much to really say, is there? apart from just hoping that the team can deliver something. Apart, just hopefully there's a bit of heart there, a bit of effort, because this is definitely one of the weaker Warriors sides produced, I think. All time? Possibly, and I genuinely mean that. All right, so look, the improvements, obviously last week, right? Getting absolutely manhandled. I don't want to talk about what happened there, but in order for the Warriors to improve, thankfully the Tigers are not, they're not one of the better teams, so to speak. They're definitely better than us, but they're not, in that top tier level. The Warriors just need to defend and defend again. The 3Ds, right? Tackle, and tackle. But seriously, all jokes aside, Warriors need to defend. Their defense has just not been up to par. It's been very below average, and apart from losing some very close games, to be fair with you, the defense has always been the key factor in all these games. But defense is the thing. I can't talk about certain combinations here because, again, it's another new experiment with halves. How's Peter Hiku going to go? I do not know. How's he going to gel with O'Sullivan? I do not know. You know what I mean? Peter Hiku hasn't played since round, 3 or 4, I think. And you're going to inject them into this sort of game here, and again, you just don't know. Look, and that's just it. That's just it for me personally. In terms of improvements, that's it. There's not too much to sort of say there. Look, some of the key players for me, you got Reece Walsh there, obviously, again, looking to inject himself, looking to do some really good things. You've got Peter Hiku again. He brings that experience. You've got Otugoro, fresh legs, a fresh pair of eyes. Could it be something that adds to our attack? Potentially, I think so. You've got to just take the good. It's one of those things where you just got to take the good. There's been a lot of bad news that has happened to the Warriors in the last couple of days, plus the results and all. You just got to take the good here. Ben Murdoch-Masila as well. I've penned him in, as well as Katoa. Ben Murdoch-Masila primarily from the point that he's probably going to be the strongest point of attack we have in terms of physical dominance. Again, relying on somebody who is, in my opinion, a better second row off the bench. Relying on him as a prop is just, it just shows you again where we're at the moment. And I've got Josh Curran as well and I think he's a future leader as well. He too has some qualities that I definitely like, and I've penned him as well as someone to hopefully lead from up front. I think he's definitely growing into someone very good, and as a player I respect him immensely, and again, he's definitely going to get better as it goes. And though it may be testing time for our players, don't forget the, mental effect it may have. Obviously there's a negative, but there's also that positive aspect too, and in regards to how that may build more character. But yeah, like I said, with all things said, we'll just have to see, right? And again, look, we're versing a very good Tigers team. Let that be known. They've actually done well. They sort of hung in there with the Manly, and then by the second half, sort of Manly pulled away. But let that not distract you from the fact that they're still a decent team. Some of their key players to look out for: they've got Laurie, they've got Maumalo, and again, speaking of Maumalo, obviously, you know he's going to be wanting to seek some revenge there. So look at him to try and add more misery to the Warriors team. You got Dowie as well as Utoi Kamanu, who's going to be an absolute nightmare for our forwards. He's been picking up some steam, and back to Dewey as well. Again, at the 5'8" position, he's been one of the better 5'8s, I think, going around in general. So again, look for him to take advantage of a Warriors team that unfortunately is very inexperienced at the moment, particularly in the halves. Then you've got Leilua as well as Alex Twal, and again, my feelings for Twal. Does the 1%ers right. Always a good player to watch. But those are just some of the key players again. As for the try scorers, well, look, if I was to pick one apiece for the Warriors, I'm going to go Peter Hiku for try scorer. And then for the Tigers, I'm going to go Maumalo. I reckon Maumalo will score on us. He's going to be ready to do it. So I reckon Maumalo for me. Look, the prediction here, right? This is where it all matters for me. We're versing a hungry Tigers team who are, look, they're not battling for the 8, but they're still moving in a forward direction. They've shown some good glimpses, right? As for the Warriors, unfortunately, it hasn't been great. As you know, I think personally for myself here, I really want to try and be optimistic here. I really do. But I think the Tigers are going to win this one here. I think the Tigers run away with this game here, actually. 22 points to 12. Warriors lose again. Look, I just don't know, and you got to add into consideration as well that there's the injuries, right? Potential injuries. I mean, every single game there's an injury of the Warriors, and it's just tough, isn't it? But yeah, that is my thoughts there. But I want to do something different as well today. I want to leave you guys with a quote, and then I want to try and perhaps inspire you, and I suppose at the same time inspire myself, being a Warriors fan. So this is by Stephanie Myers, right? She wrote the Twilight book, and there's a little quote here. It goes, "I like the night. Without the dark, would never see the stars." And I guess for me, I interpret it in the way that it sort of speaks to what we're going through now. It's dull. It's dark, and honestly, hope is gone. That's the reality. In terms of our season, it's gone, and we've seen some very, very emotional sort of things in the last 24 hours. But in saying that, sometimes in that darkness, there is those glimpses of hope. Sometimes it takes these type of things to really bring the best out of you. Now, as I sit here and, tell you guys my prediction, it doesn't mean that I've lost hope. I still want the boys to win, to go well, to end the season well, right? But despite that darkness, despite everything that's going through, I urge you guys as fans, let us just, gather together. Let us understand what's happening with these, the team in general. To be fair, I think the Warriors need us more than ever. I can only imagine just how gut-wrenching it would be now to just take the game week by week, knowing very well that it just doesn't matter at the end. Again, I like the night. Without the dark, would never see the light. And again, like I said, though we can't see much, let us look a little bit closer into the night sky. We might be able to see a few stars there, here or there. And I think for Warrior fans at the moment, it's about looking at it from a different perspective. It's about looking at it from a perspective that perhaps is, well, look, we've been here before, but we probably haven't been down this place before. This is a potential to get ugly here with the Warriors. But the reality is, right, whatever happens, Warriors to the end. And I'm just here to encourage you and perhaps to implore for you to look at this from a different angle. But in saying that as well, thanks again, guys, for watching. Take it easy, and hey, feel free to comment and tell me how you feel. I love engaging with you guys. You don't have to be a Warriors fan to engage and comment as well. I enjoy all of it. But yeah, I thought I'll just leave that with you guys there. But remember, during the dark times, that's probably the time when the Warriors need us the most. And I think it's time for us to remember that, and especially in a time like this, with some players going and being injured and all that stuff. Yeah, it's time to do that. But thanks again, guys, for watching. Take it easy, and yeah, look, in order for the Warriors to win, you know what they have to do. You know very well what they have to do. What they have to do? Hold the ball. See you guys next time, and go the Warriors.